Hello and what's up, political peeps and transit yappers alike. Welcome to today's number 3 ever episode of Transit Talk Tuesday. And although I'm not really the biggest sports fan that you'll ever meet, today's episode will be concerning the NFL and more specifically the AFC East, given that today is the first day of the NFL season. We will be breaking down everything from getting towards the cities where these games are taking place to getting to the specific venues and stadiums where these sporting events take place within these great cities in the AFC East. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and follow depending on what platform you guys are on. Also, leave a comment because we will also be reviewing the AFC North and South, as well as West, as well as all the NFC divisions. So please be sure to subscribe, like, and comment depending on where you are. So, before we get right into today's episode, please be sure to follow us across all platforms. I'm Aravic Kapoor on LinkedIn. Check out the geopolitical Substack with less frequent uploads, but still some good articles on there. And then YouTube, which you may or may not be watching right now, at the geopolitical 22. And I'm on the geopolitical on Spotify. And you can click the QR code on screen right now to view our website if you're on a video platform, which is Spotify or YouTube. So, once again, happy NFL season. Let's get right into it. So, first, the New York Jets at MetLife Stadium. New Jersey Transit is the operator of all of the major trains and public transportation within the U.S. state of New Jersey. And there is the lines that there are a total of 11 lines that operate. Of those 11 lines, 10 of them operate through the Frank R. Luttenberg Secaucus Junction Station Complex. And one of those lines are the special event Meadowlands Sports Complex service. On game days, when New Jersey Transit deems that there are enough attendees at the game, they operate the service directly from Frank R. Luttenberg Secaucus Junction to Meadowlands Sports Complex with a direct connection to Secaucus to the MetLife Stadium. These trains begin to leave 3.5 hours prior to kickoff, and the last train departs exactly 1 hour after the game is over. It takes about 10 minutes from Secaucus Junction to the Meadowlands Station. It only operates on selected events, as I said, and it does cost $5.10 round trip, which you can purchase on the NJ Transit app, or you can buy at any NJ Transit ticket machine on the line. You can access the Frank R. Luttenberg Secaucus Junction complex via New York Penn Station on the Raritan Valley Line, Northeast Corridor Line, Montclair Boonton Line, etc., as well as the Morristown Line. And then you can also access it from the Hoboken Division, including the Passaic Valley Line, Main Line, and Bergen County Line, going into Hoboken. And then, of course, you have the North Jersey Coastline. So Secaucus Junction is accessible by all train lines on New Jersey Transit, excluding the Atlantic City line. To come from Atlantic City, you would have to transfer at Pennsauken Transit Center to get on the River Line train toward Trenton Transit Center via the Northeast Corridor, where you could get a stop at Secaucus Junction to transfer to the Meadowlands train. But coming from New York, it's very simple. You can just hop on pretty much any train out of New York, and almost all trains out of New York do make that first stop at the Frank R. Luttenberg Secaucus Junction complex. But another option for getting to the stadium from the New York City area is the Coach USA number 351 bus, which sends multiple buses departing 2.5 hours prior to kickoff, all the way up until 1.5 hours after, so a little bit longer after the game than the train service, which is very limited to Meadowlands. It leaves from New York City's interesting Port Authority bus terminal, which is at 8th Avenue and 42nd Street, and it arrives straight at the MetLife gate of the stadium. And by the way, the train arrives at the Verizon and MetLife gates. The Coach USA bus is a little bit more expensive, coming in at $14 round trip per adult. Now, transitioning to another team, the Miami Dolphins, there is a Brightline shuttle bus that goes right up to the Hard Rock Stadium where the Miami Dolphins play. You can see on the left of my screen here, this is the Brightline network, and they operate trains that are very high speed as of the past years, going from Orlando to Tampa to Miami Center. One of the stops is the Aventura at Brightline Station near and outside Miami, From the station, buses will leave 10 minutes after the arrival of these long distance trains to take you on a 10-minute journey to the Hard Rock Stadium entrance, and the buses will drop you off just a quick 5-minute walk from the entrance to the stadium. Buses will leave from the stadium near the 18th parking lot pedestrian bridge, which is about near 199th Street. But you should definitely book this stuff in advance if you can use the QR code on the left of the screen, because they do sell out, and prices do increase on the fares across Brightline. Although keep in mind that the shuttle bus from the Aventura station to the Hard Rock Stadium is actually free. Just getting to that station does require paying for the fluctuating Brightline fares, so make sure to take care of that. Now, transitioning to the beloved New England Patriots, there's multiple ways to access the Foxborough station along the MBTA commuter rail lines at the Foxborough station, which is just a mere 5-minute walk from between the station and the stadium. There's a commuter rail line that already goes. It's called the MBTA Franklin Foxborough line, which is just a regular commuter rail service that operates service between Boston South Station with a stop at Boston Back Bay, making all local stops to Foxborough Station, which you can see on the map to the left of the screen. In addition to this, since these trains may end before the event, since it's just a regular commuter rail, so if you have a really late night concert or a really late night game at Foxborough, the train service on this may end. Although this only costs $8.75 one way, which is more expensive than the event train, which I'm going to talk about right now. The event train actually could leave from Boston South Station with stops at Back Bay and then Providence. But the thing with the event train is it's cheaper. Instead of $8.75 one way like the commuter rail line to Foxborough, the event train is $10 round trip, and it's coming from Providence and South Station with separate services, and they run express. But keep in mind, these tickets do sell out. So that's why I mentioned the Franklin Foxborough line, because you may have to resort to that if this sells out and you're unable to buy ahead of time. But keep in mind, the event train will most likely be your best bet, given how it's faster and cheaper and leaves from both Providence and South Station, both stations that have Amtrak connections. Although keep in mind, please don't get confused, Foxborough Station itself does not have an Amtrak connection. If you need to get there from Amtrak, you either have to take the Franklin Foxborough or event trains, on which only operate on game days, from Boston South Station into the Foxborough MBTA station, or on event days you can take event trains from Providence Amtrak station into the Foxborough MBTA station, which again is not an Amtrak station. Our next team for the day is the Buffalo Bills, who play at Highmark Stadium. There is a Niagara Falls Transit Agency express bus that operates right into Buffalo Bills Stadium. It's a $5 one-way fare where you can pay for exact change, or you can use the Token Transit app and view the map, etc. It stops at some vital stops, including the Niagara Falls Transit Center with a bunch of connections, as well as the Buffalo Bus Terminal with connections to the Buffalo Light Rail, etc., the University Station Park and Ride, as well as Thruway Mall, and a couple other vital connections. And that about does it for today's episode of Transit Talk Tuesday. Today was a spectacular episode, so please be sure to subscribe, like, and follow so you can learn more about public transportation to the NFC games, as well as the AFC North, South, and West divisions of the NFL, so we can use public transportation to map this nation like it was many hundreds of years ago. So, with that, thank you so much for listening to me yap transit for a good 10 minutes. You guys know the drill. Peace out, transit yappers.